15.
Okay, well, and we're approaching Easter now, and when I'm reading through this, the pain that Jesus went through, and so it says that in verse 16 that the soldiers led Jesus away into the palace, that is the Praetorium, called together the whole company of soldiers. They put a purple robe on him, twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on him, and they began to call out to him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" And I just thought, like, the pain. I'm someone that I don't really like pain, right? And sometimes we can even downplay the amount of pain and physical pain he went through, right? And we've been clearing all these thorn brushes and everything out of our. You get one little prick. Can you imagine someone, twisting a crown of thorns, right? And these were not probably tiny little thorns too, that like from a thorn bush. And so the amount of pain that he went through, and it will continue on through there where he's crucified, but all that pain is for our deliverance. Yes. So that we don't walk in sin, we don't have to walk in shame or guilt. It's for our deliverance. And so all of that is not just to say, and it's it's put there, but it doesn't go into real gory detail, but the pain is there, so we realize that there was a price to be paid for our sin. Jesus came to save us from our sin. He paid that price for me and for you. And so if you are someone we're struggling with sin, and all of us, we all have sin issues in our life, is that this passage here is for us to come know that Jesus paid that price for us so that we can be set free. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, no, that's amazing, Jordan. That's fantastic. For me, what stood out is when Jesus dies, and in verse 37 here, he cries out in a loud voice, and at that moment, the veil in the holiest of holies was torn from top to bottom. Mm-hmm. And the military officer, the Roman military officer who was standing right in front of Jesus, saw how he died. He said, "There is no doubt, surely this man was the Son of God." Right above that, a few verses ahead, the religious leaders and Pharisees and scholars, they were mocking Jesus and making fun of him, and their own expertise in their own eyes, and their own pride and wanting the praises of man and wanting to be looked upon and wanting to be honored, it's blocked them from seeing the very one who they said they were seeking for. And here is a sinner, an oppressor of God's people, but he saw Jesus and he saw it was there, and he said, there's something about him that's different. And how God's desire, that veil ripping from top to bottom, God's desire is that all of us would know him. God is the one who tore the veil so that we could have access to him. And I want to have a heart that looks and sees Jesus and is not puffing up myself and my own arrogance and thinking that I know everything and I have it all together. But I want my heart to be dedicated to God, and I want to receive that he has pursued me, and therefore I am going to lay down my all before him. So that's my prayer, and that's for all of you listening today, whether this is your 1,000th time or your first time hearing about how Jesus gave his life for you, how the Father ripped the veil from heaven to earth so that he could have access to you and you could have access to him. I just pray that this would grip your heart. And if you've never heard this before, it just says, call on the Lord and you will be saved. Just say, Jesus, I want to know you. And he will come and he will meet you. And please email us, contact us via WhatsApp, and we'd love to pray with you. If this is the 1,000th time or the 10,000th time, I pray for you that the reality that God has pursued you and the reality that you have been chosen and his majesty and glory and his willingness to suffer all that pain for you would grip your heart in a fresh way, and that fresh worship and love and adoration would arise from our hearts. So God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow.